Okay, we apologize for the delay in part 2. Hopefully you haven't been so full of suspense that you could not eat, sleep, or function, just wondering what was going to happen next. We did not mean
What is that
to
Claire
leave
going to
you
get into
hanging.
next?
We have been attempting to record the second half of this for a very long time. We got a little bit of a piece done on Friday. We got a little piece done today. We ran into a whole lot of obstacles, and it was borderline comical, but mostly just frustrating.
It was borderline comical because I think the first time, the second attempt of the first time, my mic died, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then the second time, I'm in Ireland, obviously. Cadence is in Arizona. And I have this thing Starlink, and I had no idea that it's like a cell phone service. They give you like a specific amount of data you can use, apparently. And I had no idea that that's how it was. And we would try, not just this episode, we've tried to record past episodes. And it would always go real wonky after like 25 minutes. And I'd just be like, what is going on with this? Little did I know that I could have saved us a lot of time if I'd have just stayed home.
Yeah.
Well, it is my home, but my second home.
My other home. One of my homes.
No.
One of my many homes.
One of my many.
But
no, it's a project.
One is very rural, obviously, and so it's like it's not as
rural. Yeah, it's in the middle of we literally have to have Starlink because they don't have any internet service out there.
There's nothing else available. So anyway, we were just trying so hard to get this done. That was our main point. So we apologize for the delay, and yeah.
Hope you enjoy. Here it is. All right, so we're back for the second half of the third J-Lo movie that we've done.
The second half of the third
Second
movie.
half of the first movie. Actually, it's the first movie we did because we did a music movie extravaganza. Then we did a documentary. This is the first actual flick. So the first part of this episode, I'm really having a hard time with numbers. The first half of this third part installment, it was just the beginning. Now the second half is what you really need to wait for because
it was the setup.
What we have in store with Noah. Oh boy. Okay, so let's just get into it. I think the last time we left off, they had just gotten down and dirty. J-Lo had a little bit of a lapse of she got a little digmatized, little lack of judgment,
well,
but
was
also
all that wine and cookie sniffing.
Oh, and cookie sniffing. And she loves defrosting raw chicken. It just gets her.
It is
and again, we talked about it like, I'm sorry if the 18-year-old across the street was calling me late at night after being like, I don't know how to defrost chicken. I'd be like, all right, well, that's not my problem.
That's your.
And this was made in 2015. Like, look it up on YouTube, dude.
Yeah, that's so true. Okay, it's not like an 80s movie where it's like it's really hard to find references or help. It's like
because I was thinking like maybe
anything you need,
different time. It could have been like, borrow a cup of sugar from the neighbor type thing. But I was like, no, this is peak internet. You had every opportunity to look up everything you need. You could have just Deliverooed something or Uber Eats something.
And I also wanted to say Noah does what Ben Affleck's character in Geely would not do, and he gobbles. It's chicken time.
Gobble chicken time. Still the most awkward, cringiest moment of any movie ever.
That is where we're at right now. They just had their one night stand, and he tries to be very in the morning, brings her breakfast, and he wants to, sit and chat with her and unpack the emotions of the night before.
Hey, if you're having second thoughts, it's normal.
This isn't normal, okay? Nothing about this is normal.
And she's like, no, this is a terrible mistake.
Look, Noah, I don't want you to think that any of this was your fault, okay? I'm the adult. I'm the one that should have...
Stop.
I wasn't thinking clearly, okay? I got swept up in the moment. I was vulnerable, and you're very sweet.
I was drunk. I wasn't thinking, this can't be anything. He gets very angry, punches a wall, because that's a normal reaction to have. Not a red flag in any way. And so she's like, listen, I appreciate you. Thank you so much for the dick, but I have to go. And he's like, but I love you. And she's like,
Noah, look, it wasn't more than that, okay? I was feeling vulnerable and...
How can you say that? Last night was so perfect.
Because it's true. And in time, you're gonna see it too.
This is not love. I do not love you. Can we just agree, like, let's let it go? I'm just gonna tell you, in case you haven't figured it out, he does not let it go. He absolutely does not let it go.
Yeah, it was kind of weird because the whole time you're like, does he have ulterior motives or does he actually just really like J-Lo? Because I was kind of thinking like,
yes.
Is he psychotic? Does he actually really genuinely like J-Lo, or is there an ulterior motive?
Yeah, because I genuinely was like, okay, so she hadn't turned him down.
Yeah,
Would
like
he
if she
have
had have
just
said
been
no,
like,
would
okay,
they? Yeah,
we're married now.
yeah,
What was
exactly.
the other?
Like he could might just very well like an older woman, and there's nothing wrong with that. But her gobble gobble's just so damn
Tasty. Her turkey is just so
good.
tasty.
So Noah's like, all right, J-Lo, all right, my Jigglypuff, I'm gonna back off a little bit. Promise, see ya, bye. Everything was one night stand. We'll never talk
Pinky
about this again.
promise.
So then J-Lo's wonderful soon-to-be ex-husband and son come back from the camping trip, and immediately who shows up? No.
Oh, yeah. Noah's like, oh, you can't tell me to leave when they're here because they don't know what happened and it's just going to be weird. And so.
And he makes it real weird.
Oh, he makes it so weird because they have had dinner and she's serving dessert. And when she hears him come in, she drops the pie that she had previously prepared. So her second option is cookies.
Oh
So
man, how does she
brings
do
out
it all? The stress of a housewife, so stressful.
Busy.
I know.
So she brings out the cookies and she's like, oh, I'm so sorry. All I had was cookies. And then Noah's like,
Love your mother's cookies. They're great, right?
And I'm thinking, like, really though, realistically, as the dad, you're sitting there and you're like, this is really weird conversation because he's like, I love your mom's cookies in this very weird way. And he'll be like, hey,
Yes.
when did you have my ex-wife's cookies?
yeah, because she goes, did you guys get in there any rain? And Noah's like,
Well, it got pretty wet here.
Who says that?
if I
says
were a third person in that room, I'd be like, this seems like a weird conversation. I don't get what's happening.
Could you make it any more obvious?
And he's looking, like Noah's like looking at her, like making
straight
direct
in the
eye
eyes.
contact.
Yeah, it got real wet over here. I'd be like, okay, you know what? I'm not a genius when it comes to social cues, but I think something went on here.
Something feels weird. So the very next day, if you will remember from the first half of this, the camping trip was planned for the Memorial Day weekend. And so now they are coming back, or I guess Labor Day. Sorry, Labor Day is in
I always
September.
forget
That's
which one.
when school starts. So the next day, of course, school is starting. And Claire / J-Lo, she is ready to go. She's got her literature class and the classics
She's got her
all lined
classics.
up.
Every classic you could ever imagine. You know, she is. She's just one with the youth. She becomes like that cool teacher, starts rapping
yeah,
the classics.
yeah.
Aphrodite and
She's
and,
Lin-Manuel
like,
Miranda.
Yeah. It's so, and they're like, okay. But she is. She's
And
so
she thinks it's so good too. That's the thing. So she's raring to go. She starts teaching her lesson about Achilles.
Welcome, everybody. Start of a brand new year. This year, we are studying Homer's Iliad and its themes. The first one we'll be studying is the Wrath of Achilles.
And then all of a sudden her classroom door opens up and in waltzes Noah with the principal.
Mrs. Peterson,
Principal Warren, what a nice surprise.
good news. I've approved your request for Noah Sanborn to join your class.
And
Oh, and
she
you
is
better believe-
stammering hard.
She doesn't
She's
have
like,
a pie to drop, but if she did, she would drop all the pies right now. What?
Yes.
It's like a yeah, it turns into like a like a goofy, stupid movie. So obviously she is mortified when her little sweet hookup Noah arrives in her classics class.
Yeah. She's not expecting that. So she takes the principal out into, he comes in and he's again quoting the classics as he walks in.
No man or woman born, coward or brave, can shun his destiny. I think it was Achilles who said that, right?
He's
She's
a
like, buddy,
fucking
that's not going to
loser."
work anymore. We already had sex. That's not working anymore.
So she's like, oh, hey, Mr. Principal, can I just talk to you outside real quick? So they go outside and she's like,
Ed? Wait a second. This is a class for AP juniors. Noah Sanborn is a transfer senior, so...
Hey, he's not even like in this grade, and I feel like maybe he shouldn't be in this class. And he's like,
I'm confused. Your transfer request said, that he'd be an asset to the class. This was your email.
That's right. Thank you.
Have a great year.
oh, you don't remember sending me a personal email? And she's like, what? And
She's
he's
like,
yeah,
oh, here's the thing.
remember
here's the thing.
how you sent me this
Ambien-
whole email?
Ambien is a crazy drug, right? It was Memorial Day weekend. My husband was out of town. I was sniffing cookies, drinking wine, slipped an Ambien, and I accidentally... Actually, that would make it even weirder because he'd be like, why are you thinking about Noah in your class when you're high on Ambien? So there's no getting out of this one. Yeah, I guess that's not a good excuse.
There's no two ways around it, but I always love in emails, in movies, when people explain to the other person the thing that the other person did. Because I'm like, if I wrote an email, like I would remember it. And so him to be like, oh, hey, remember how you reached out to me and said specifically that Noah had an exception to get into your class because of A, B, and C? Like, and she acts like she doesn't know what he's talking about. That would be a red flag for me. Like, really? You don't remember writing an essay about why Noah should be in your class?
They'll explain exactly what the person did, and the person will still be like, okay, do I go along with this? How long is it going to take me to realize that there's a big mistake here?
Because if you think about both versions of how that goes, she's like, I did not write that email. I'm not sure where it came from. And he's like, oh, that's weird because I have it. Because he does. He printed it up, folded it up, put it in his pocket so he could show her
just
physically
really making sure. Yep.
the email.
Because this was 2015 and he couldn't have just shown her on his phone, you know.
On his phone. Yes. And so I kept thinking, like, what if she's just like, no, I didn't do that. That was a mistake. And he would have been like, oh, okay, that's weird, but we'll make sure to figure it out. But instead she's like, oh yeah, that email that I wrote you. Totally remember
Because if someone else
that.
tells you what you did first, go along with it. Yep.
I am making videos, like I said, for our old episodes that never got them. And I'm doing like the Christmas Prince trilogy. And that is the peak Christmas Prince situation because they tell her she's the new tutor. And she's like, yes, they don't ask. They don't need any forms of ID. They don't need a passport. They're just like, oh, you're the tutor. Cool, come with us. And it starts them down this journey. And I'm like, nobody asked, nobody.
And
so
they
that's
even
the
tell her how
number
to
one
tutor. They're like, you're the new tutor. And she's confused. And they're like, yeah, you teach Emily English on Wednesdays at 8 a.m. Like they just tell her how to do everything.
Yes.
Love it.
Okay, so anyway, she's like, okay, cool. Yeah, I guess I wrote that email. Sounds good. I'm just going to go along with this. And that evening she gets home and she's just clacking away at her laptop. And she hears someone walk in the front door and she's like,
Kevin! Yeah? Did you send an email from my account to Principal Warren?
No, why?
Because somebody did.
and right around the corner, Noah pops his little head and he
up.
goes,
Sounds like you've been hacked. You should really change your password. And I'd be happy to help you out with that if you want.
No thanks.
Oh, and she knows shit's on. At that moment, she knows. I mean, she kind of knew a little bit before, but she knows. Oh, he cray.
I'm like, did you truly not think that that was him before? Like, because
He punched a wall. He punched a wall, and he called you to come over and help him defrost chicken. There was like many red flags.
You know, she's genuinely trying to solve the mystery. She's like, where did this email come from?
This weird kid
can't
that I slept
quite
with that's
figure
obsessed
it
with me
out."
is in my class, and the principal got an email from him. Who would have done this? This is just... I teach the classics. I'm not an investigator. What is this, CSI?
Literally not until he puts his head in and goes, oh, you might have hacked. That she's like, it was you.
What
like,
would
totally
Achilles do?
surprised by it.
She's sitting there clacking away like, what the Titans do in this situation? But it is kind of funny because... And then Noah's just always there. And just
Yes.
like, so he pops up right away.
Yes.
But now
And
this is where you see that things are getting a little spicy. So, yeah, she knows he's a little bit cray. She's a little bit like, okay, what am I going to do? That's a really bad way to say that. But that's what she's thinking. And again,
So,
what would
What?
Archimedes do? Okay.
Well, I was going to say she tries to get in through Kevin and she's like,
He's here way too much.
hey, just like as your mom, I just feel like maybe you should spend less time with Noah. You know, he's over here all the time. Like, let's take a chill pill. But of course, Kevin's like, he's my best friend. You can't make us break
well, that's what I was
up."
saying.
So that
Noah's
doesn't
playing
work.
the long game, you guys. He's infiltrating from the ground up. He starts infiltrating Kevin's little thought processes, and he starts telling him, like, your dad left you. He didn't even take you to the hardware shop. I did. You go shooting.
The other thing about the shooting that I specifically made a note about was that the whole time they're shooting and Noah's standing in Kevin's ear, like telling him how shitty his dad is, he's wearing a tie. He's wearing a button-up shirt and a tie. And I'm like, why is he dressed like this?
Because
I don't
he's
know if
trying to be his
prove that
new
he's
dad.
mature.
Yes, it's trying to show us that, like, oh, Noah wants to be Kevin's new dad, his new 19-year-old dad.
So
Dad seems to be around a lot now, huh?
Yeah, I guess.
Like dinner on a camping trip can just make you forget about how he walked out on you. Yeah, it's so predictable. A guy hits middle age and suddenly staring death in the face. You know, tie around the waist, hair in the drain, cock that just won't stand up anymore. He wants to feel alive again. He wants to feel that rush. You know, he felt when he was our age. Picks up a younger woman. Oof. Whole new life.
So he's like, your dad's a dick. Like, he left your mom. Like, how dare he? Don't you hate him so much? You should never give him a second chance. He's using your mom. And so that's like seeping into Kevin's
Of course,
mind.
Kevin falls for it right away. He doesn't think like, oh,
yeah.
you don't know my dad. Why are you saying these things? Where's this coming
Right.
from? He's just immediately like, you know what? I've never thought about that before. My dad is
You've
a
really
total
opened
ass.
my mind.
And you're wearing a tie and you're taking me gunning. So are you my dad? Are you my new dad? And here's where things get really interesting. He's fully infiltrated Kevin. They have a boxing kind of class.
I don't know if it's an elective or what the situation
Classics,
is with
guns,
that.
hardware stores, and boxing. It's like a Mad Lib. It's like, okay, Kevin
Yeah.
meets Noah at a fishing tournament in Oklahoma with a barbell, and he's allergic to peanuts.
So they're boxing, and all of a sudden, Kevin starts having. Okay, here's the thing. Is it an allergy attack? We think so, because right when he's about to suffocate to death, Noah remembers the EpiPen, runs to the locker, grabs it, stabs him in the thigh.
I mean, that's a pretty incredible dad.
Dad of the year.
Yeah, be my dad. I'm not sure my dad would have ever done that. Yeah.
But you never, and maybe they do clarify this later, and we just missed it somehow, because it seems
I wonder if we
like
can look it up.
the plan would be that Noah would set him up somehow, right? Because he knows he's allergic to bees. He knows the Wiz story. He heard the whole thing from the mom. So it's like, did he put like a bee in there? Did he put like peanuts in there? Something he's allergic to. And then be like, oh, I'm the hero. But it doesn't ever say that. The way the viewer experiences it is that they're boxing. He boxes so hard, he goes into anaphylactic shock. And Noah saves him.
Yeah, that's why I'm like the EpiPen. I really thought that was like for peanuts and bee stings. Like you don't just use it if
is.
someone like is tired
Right.
from working out. That doesn't make any sense. Anyway, he saves his life with an EpiPen.
And that same day, Claire gets a big bouquet of flowers delivered. And her best friend, Vicky, of course, is like,
Would I read your card? What? It's a thin envelope.
ooh, look at these flowers. And Claire assumes that they are from her separated husband because they've been seeing more of each other.
There. I'm glad you only teach the classics and nothing else. Like put two and two together, girl. Who could have done this? Who could have sent me these flowers? I wonder.
It's definitely not the boy who's obsessed with me and has hacked my email to get into my classics class. It couldn't
Can't be him.
possibly be him.
No way.
So she does the classic thing that you see all the time in movies. She calls her husband and she's like,
They're beautiful, Garrett.
he's like,
Flowers? What flowers?
and she's like,
You know what? I'm going to call you back.
never mind.
Wouldn't it have been funny if he was like the same thing she did with the principal? She's like, these flowers
That would've been
these
perfect.
flowers that you sent me today are so pretty, and he's like, oh yeah, yeah, okay,
Totally
those.
sent
I know.
those. Totally
Yep,
sent those.
mhm.
But he doesn't. He's just like, oh, sorry, that was a misunderstanding. I don't know what you're talking about. And she's like, okay, never mind. Bye.
Then she spends the rest of the movie trying to figure out who did it because she still can't put it together. The rest of the movie
She's
is
like,
her literally just trying to figure out who on earth could have sent her these flowers.
And so she ends up putting two and two together and realizes that it's Noah. So she finds him, you guys. He's in the boxing gym in the dark.
I think they're really trying to play with symbolism, and he's just crazy. Like, who sits in the dark unless you're crazy and a stalker?
And he somehow knew she was going to come looking, and so he was just waiting for her there. I don't know. I'm not sure. But she comes to the dark boxing gym and confronts him, and she's like,
Noah, those flowers, what were you thinking?
A peace offering.
Do you know what that looks like? A student sending a teacher flowers?
That's why I didn't sign the card.
And you hacked my email?
You said I could be in your class.
And you're trying to turn Kevin against his father. Stop it.
you have got to stop. I told you that this was not going to work out. It was a mistake. And he's like,
You're welcome, by the way, for saving your son.
oh, hey, I know that you heard this. The rumor went around school, but I actually just saved your child from dying. And she's like,
You know what? You're right. I should have thanked you.
good point.
I just want us to start over.
Let's just start over. Let's just pretend none of this happened. Truce.
I mean, at this point, she doesn't know what else to do. It's like crazy, but you did technically you did save my son's life, no matter how crazy you are. And
yeah.
that, like, I have to give you props for it. And that's what I think they left out. I'm pretty sure Noah, it feels like he would have set that up so that he could save his life and be there, but it doesn't really ever, explain that. I mean, I can kind of feel Claire. I would get it. I mean, no matter how much someone was a crazy stalker, I'd be like, okay, well, you saved my son's life.
Yeah, I guess maybe if you were just like, I super appreciate this. Like, you're a real hero, just like Homer's The Odyssey. You're that kind of hero. And can we just hang out and be chill?
I know what you could do. Say, hey, I slept with the 19-year-old friend next door. It was a crazy night.
And now he's being crazy.
And now he's being kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Like, that's what you could do because it's not illegal. You're not married. It's fine.
Yeah. So it just gets crazier from here. He's spying on her all the time. He's got eyes on her at all times. In this, like, the side plot, her and Garrett, her husband, or soon-to-be ex-husband, start seeing each other more. Garrett's convinced her, like, listen, we were having a really rough patch, and I regret what I did more than anything, but I love you, and I don't think you should file for divorce just yet. And she's like, you know what? You're right.
Maybe because they weren't fully divorced. That's like the whole scandal. We were on a break versus we weren't.
But he had an affair, so it's like,
Yeah.
technically she could be like, we're even.
And yeah, that's how that works. That's exactly how relationships work. No, but really, like, they're already, like, fully going. Like, I would say at this point, it's not even we're on a break situation. They were, like, fully ready to get divorced. He doesn't live there anymore.
No, he doesn't live there anymore, but they do start, like, talking more, hanging out more. He's like,
But I'm
please
saying,
just
like,
kind of.
If he would have found out that she had sex with the 19-year-old boy next door,
yes.
it wouldn't have been like, what? We were just taking a little,
Right.
like, we were, like, you were more than a break. You're fully getting divorced.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Correct. And it had been like 6 months. Yeah, it had been a while. So Garrett is kind of trying to win her back, her estranged husband. He says, just give us a little more time.
I just want you to know I'm not giving up on us.
Well, I want you to know that I'm not asking you to.
I just want a little bit more time to work this out. We were both in a really bad place, and I'm so sorry I hurt you. I just think that this is salvageable. So she listens, and they go on a little date. And they come back to her place. And of course, creepy Noah's watching from his window next
Of course
door.
he is, 'cause he's a freaking crazy.
Such a freak. And so he sees Garrett go inside. Now, what he doesn't see is that Claire tells Garrett, listen, I had a great time. I'm not ready to jump right back into this. So you're welcome to sleep on the couch, and I will see you in the morning. So no sex happens. I mean, even if it did, it's none of Noah's fucking business. But
I'm like, why are you even saying this? Because it doesn't matter at all. Noah he goes full rage mode regardless.
Yes, he's so mad.
pissed.
And it goes over, it like shows Noah in his red room, just like all he's doing is like running over and over their sex in his head. He's just like, oh man, it was so much sex. It was all the sex. All the sex happened. So he calls her a
What a fucking whore you are.
whore. He is mad. Also, he calls her a whore for having sex with her legal husband still. So
He's
his
just mad.
priorities
He's just
are
seeing
all
red.
out of whack.
He does not know. He's mad. He's furious.
So the next day at school, he's been dealing with a lot of pent-up rage, as you can tell. The next day at school, Kevin's bullies, who call him the Wiz, we talked about this in the first half, they kind of
still
riot.
call him the Wiz because that's how high school works in every movie. You do one thing when you're 3 years old, and it just
And
labels
it
you for
never
the
dies.
rest of your life. Yeah.
So they're skating by on their wheelies, calling him the Wiz again.
The movie was on Turner Classics last night. The Wiz. It's like the black version of the Wizard of Oz. The Wizards of Waverly Place are on tomorrow.
And Noah fully goes unhinged. He starts
don't talk about my kid like that. You're talking about my kid like that. He goes into full dad mode.
Son.
Full enraged dad
Totally
mode.
did.
But the point is that he
absolutely
beats
did.
the bully so hard, you guys, he fractures his freaking skull.
Yeah.
Almost kills
When
the
I
bully.
say he beats the shit out of him, like he almost kills him. He rams his head into a metal locker, rams his head into the cement floor. It is an extended beating. It is not just a punch. It happens for a long time.
An extended
So,
beating.
just to make it clear,
And-
it is a violent offense because it makes the next part even more confusing.
Yes,
That's why I'm
because-
harping on it.
Yes, he's 19. He could easily be arrested and go to jail. Nobody calls the police.
Not a law enforcement official.
Nobody does anything. But you know what? Vicky comes in there. Vicky, the principal, comes in there and she's like, you know what, Buster? Come with me into a room alone. You just cracked this kid's skull. How about you come with me? You could get suspended, Buster.
And she's like 4'11". She's
She's
the
tiny,
tiniest little
tiny.
wisp of a human person.
Wisp, a wisp. That is the way to describe her. She could just float away at any moment.
And so, yeah, she takes him into the principal's office. And you guys, she thinks that she is so clever. Number one, yeah, she's alone with this guy who just committed a violent attempted murder and doesn't call the police, doesn't get law enforcement involved, even
She
though
doesn't
he's
even call
a legal
the
adult.
She doesn't even call like the janitor or like even any other
not
person.
the security
Just
guard or whatever,
like,
whoever's around
anybody.
the school.
Yeah, there's another teacher like come into the room with me. This kid just tried to kill someone. Nope, she's gonna take matters into her own hands.
Yeah, so she's like,
So I was looking at your files.
Why?
I'm a vice principal. It's my job.
Whatever.
So what a surprise I found when we didn't have your transcripts from your old school, so I called them. You know what they told me?
To mind your own business.
No. That you were kicked out for disorderly conduct.
I have a little surprise for you. I checked in your file and we never got your transcripts. I'm like, are you bragging? Like, do you think
That's
you
more
somehow
on you. That's more on you,
discovered-
buddy. Like you just made yourself sound like an idiot. You made yourself
She's like,
sound way
you
more
thought you
dumb.
got away with something, but you
But
didn't.
you didn't.
And I'm like,
Actually, we didn't ever check your transcripts. We have no idea who you are. No one checked to see why the 19-year-old guy is coming back to high school. But she's just really calling herself out. We did not do our due diligence, buddy, but now we did after you
But
tried to
now we
beat
did.
someone's head. And it turns out that in his transcripts, there's a little note. Hey, this guy's really abusive.
yeah, this guy's violent, so
Anyway, this guy's really...
heads up.
Yeah, I know. That's why Noah should have been like, you could have possibly stopped this had you checked my transcripts. I don't know, when I
Yeah.
transferred.
And doesn't it seem like, so in the time from the violent beating to the time the one-on-one meeting, she does check his file, in which case you have another opportunity to be like, oh, I think I'm going to call the police because he has a history of violence. This
Nope.
wasn't an isolated incident.
She's going to
But
handle it all
no.
on her own.
She is vice principal and she is mad. So he physically assaults her, grabs her teeny tiny wrist. I'm surprised he did not break it. He calls her a
Dried up. Dirty. Fucking cunt.
dried up cunt. And she's
You know
like,
what she does?
oh, now you've done it.
I know. Oh boy, you're gonna get suspended for this one. You're gonna go to detention, Buster. He almost killed somebody. He's being violent and aggressive towards you. And like the only thing you're gonna do is like, Buster, this is gonna cause you detention. It's like, no, call the freaking police, dude. Someone,
someone
please.
alert law enforcement. But nope. So the next thing is the school dance. And Claire is going to go chaperone, even though her
As you
kid's
do.
at the dance.
As you do. It would be a little different too if her son was like a freshman or something. He's like a 17-year-old. Like,
yeah, and he gets a date with the girl from the hardware shop that he has this huge crush on. And I just feel like that's a little helicopter parenty. I get that she's a teacher, but at the same time, like, give him a little room to breathe. Kevin just needs a little space to take off and be a little independent boy. One of the girls comes up to her and says,
Mrs. Peterson?
Yes.
Some of the guys said there's water running out of the boys' bathroom. I'll check it out. Okay.
hey, there's flooding happening in the boys' bathroom upstairs. I think you should go check it out. And when she gets up there, she finds a beautiful mural
calligraphy to the
that
max.
says,
Beautiful.
I fucked Claire in the most beautiful penmanship you can imagine.
Because no one's got it all going on. He's got so many little tricks up his sleeve.
He
But
really
it is
does.
so unrealistic. We should definitely post a photo.
Yeah, a picture of the...
How beautiful that is.
Because
And, like,
you know if a
I'm
teenage
also-
boy really wrote that, it'd be like chicken scratch. She'd get in there and be
Yes.
like, what the hell does this say?
It would be so bad. My handwriting it still is so awful. But also, why is she going to investigate the plumbing problem? Like, get someone else to do it.
That's
She's not
true.
a plumber.
She's
Just
like,
be
there was
like,
probably
why
a
am I-
janitor there.
Okay.
I'll take care of it.
The girl who comes up, she's like, yeah, tell somebody else. I'm a teacher. I'm chaperoning.
I
What-
teach the
like,
classics. I don't know if you've heard, but
I don't teach plumbing, girl.
I don't
Like,
know
that's
what
the funny.
this
Like,
is.
what is she going to do? Just go up there and confirm, like, yep, there's a leak, and then go
There's
get somebody?
definitely a
It's
leak.
ridiculous.
Yeah, it was
But who
silly.
do you think meets her there? Who do you think's waiting again in the flooded men's bathroom?
Just
Freaking
Noah.
Noah.
Being a creep in his little shirt and tie as per usual. She's like, how do you like that handwriting, huh? Makes you wish you had me back, right, girl? He's just so sassy. So he assaults her, which is not funny. He's just like...
I know, that was a bad segue.
Because I was like, well, it's not nice in the bathroom, but my point is that she's, again, officially freaked out because he assaults her in the bathroom and still does not call a police officer. Even if she still feels like she did something wrong because he's a student
At this
can't
point,
assault
call
a teacher.
the-
Like, just
yes,
call
call
the police.
the police. Also, she could be like, look what he wrote on the wall. This is real rude. So after that really sweet meeting in the bathroom with the beautiful calligraphy, the next day, I just don't know how Noah has the time to do it all, but there's these... he takes the handwriting a step further and has these beautiful banners. You guys, Martha Stewart's got nothing on these banners.
These bespoke
Her
banners made specifically
bespoke
for her
banner.
classroom.
Yes. Like little bows and perfectly spaced, everything. And it's got all these pictures.
Yes. So he prints up like hundreds of pictures and then carefully arranges them, places them in a perfect banner, and it stretches from side to side in a zigzag pattern all
Gorgeous.
over the ceiling of her classroom.
I mean,
it's
I would, if
quite
I was Claire, I'd
lovely.
have been like, I'm going to leave these up.
Actually,
It's kind of tasteful.
I kind of like it. And
But,
so
like,
she's
did he like have a camera set up in the room when he was
Yes.
having sex with her?
yes,
Did it
which is doesn't explain
show that?
anything. No, because
That's what I'm saying. Like, he just went, because he didn't know he was going to bang her that night, but all that
Right.
Achilles talk really got him hot and
Yes.
heavy.
it's because that's the thing. It's like you see the picture and you realize it comes from a video. It's a still from a video. And so he's like, hey, there's a lot more where this came from. I got a whole video. So he did have a hidden camera in his house. I don't know if like from the get-go, the whole
You don't
come
really know what his
defrost my
motives are.
chicken
Yeah.
was like a
You don't know
ruse
what
and he
the
had the
motives are.
camera set up, but it doesn't explain anything. So from there on out, Claire has to get rid of that. She knows no matter what, she's got to find that video and get rid of it.
She is shuffling around her classroom, trying to take all those beautiful
Oh,
banners
yeah.
down before the principal catches her. And she's
Yeah.
pure stressed out mom, trying to rip everything down before class starts.
Oh, she's frantically trying to get the banners down, and the whole entire time, the
She's saving them.
principal's
She's folding
outside.
them. She's like, I'm
she's
gonna
like,
keep these
just
for later.
carefully,
Don't want to rip them
just
too hard.
stack these up. The principal's banging on the door, and he's like,
Peterson, open this door. Mrs. Peterson. Open this door now.
"Why is he that mad?" She locked her door. Like she's allowed to have like a tiny bit of privacy.
Not
in her
that school.
classroom.
He's trying to tell her. He's trying to get in and be like, hey, you know, someone almost died here yesterday. Someone beat a kid's skull to death. And then a vice principal, your friend, got assaulted in the classroom. And then someone wrote in beautiful calligraphy, I fucked you in the boys' bathroom. You got
Have
something
you
to say
heard
about
about
that,
any
Claire?
of this?
Have you
heard about any of it?
it? Are you just worried about cleaning up your office before the school students come? Is that all you care about, Claire?
Yeah, he's like, and then so she finally opens the door. She's like breathing so heavy because she's finally gotten all the banners taken care of. And she's like literally holding them behind her back, like nothing to see here.
You know what? Give Mrs. Peterson and I a second.
I'm concerned, Claire. Very concerned. Your behavior lately has raised a lot of eyebrows. Mike Avenito reported an incident in the gym with you and Noah Sanborn.
Oh, yeah. I remember that. That was when I was reprimanding him for skipping class.
Mike said that you got physical with him, that you put Put your hands on him. Now, you know what our policy is regarding the use of physical force on students?
Well, I would hardly say I was using physical force.
I'm not questioning your integrity here. Okay, but I am questioning your behavior. Get it together. Please.
Claire, I'm so worried about you. You seem like you're acting just really weird, and I feel like your job's at stake. And it's none of it makes any sense because at that moment she could be like, yeah, a kid is assaulting me, and he could
Yeah,
be,
it still makes no
like,
sense. As she's going home, let's say at the same time, we've flipped to Garrett, her estranged husband, and Kevin, the son.
Right.
And Garrett's like,
Hey, Kev, told your mom I'd pick you up today. Because I think it's time for you to drive this bad boy.
hey, buddy boy, you know that really cool muscle car I have? You want to go for a little ride in it?
You want to drive?
And maybe drive it?
You want to drive it? He takes him up on the offer because he's like, well, so I'm going to drive that car. But when they get in, he flips a little switch and he's like,
Come on, buddy, slow down.
You like to drive fast, isn't that right? I mean, why else get a car like this? Unless you're trying to be something that you're just completely not.
Kevin, slow down.
You had any idea what that was like when you were gone? You didn't see her, Dad. Okay? She wasn't Mom anymore. She was just completely torn apart, and I just sit back and watch, and there was nothing that I could do about it.
Kevin, slow this car down.
oh, yeah, my new daddy said I should be mad at you.
Noah said, I know, right? New dad who took me shooting and saved my life with the EpiPen. He says that I should hate you, and he wears ties to the shooting range.
I think he might be right. So I'm going to be mad while I drive this car. So all of a sudden, he's unleashing all of his anger and issues onto his dad. And the dad's like, I feel like we just went camping and I'm like driving with you now.
bud,
And I came for
Take
your
your foot off the
birthday."
gas. Let's like pull over and talk about this. I feel like this is coming out of left field.
It's like, what is
Got
going
something you want to talk
on?
about?
He's like, I am trying. I feel like I'm doing a pretty good
I know
job.
he hasn't
all
done
things
anything wrong with
considered.
Noah. Yeah.
He's been very
get
present
divorced.
in Kevin's life. So, yeah, so Kevin's getting madder and madder, and he starts speeding up, and he's doing, like, they're going down one of those curvy roads that's kind of like on the edge of the ocean kind of a thing. And so he goes faster and faster, and his dad's like, I'm going to need you to just chill out a little bit. And finally, when it gets to a point where it's quite dangerous, that's when Kevin goes to slam on the brakes. But guess what?
Oh, no.
What's wrong? What's going on?
Not braking.
Hit the brakes.
Stop braking.
Downshift.
Brakes don't work.
Downshift.
No.
Brakes don't work.
Brakes. No brakes.
Noah breaks.
Noah breaks. Yep.
No, but Noah, he's a busy guy. He's just doing so many things. He's juggling them and learning the classics. Because again, he was able to woo
Because
Claire.
he can quote.
Because he can
Achilles,
quote the
yeah.
classics.
Uh-huh.
It's crazy, but he somehow messed with the dad's car, and like that would literally kill him. That's like attempted murder.
He pulls the emergency brake. They slam into some road barrels, crash the side of their car, and then the next thing you see is Claire walking up the driveway, and the crashed car is in the driveway. And she's like,
Which
what
doesn't make any
the
sense.
hell happened?
because-
But how did it get there? Yes.
How did it get there? Like you would have a tow truck come and take it. Like they drove the crashed car back to the. But the best part is she walks in past the crashed car, and Garrett and Kevin are just having pizza on the couch, just chilling.
Not
chilling
like we
villains.
literally almost died. We
They didn't even
flashed
call
death
her.
in the face.
They didn't even call. They didn't even wreck the car and then call her and be like, "Oh my
No.
god, we almost died. Please come to it." They, like nothing.
Yes,
They're just like,
nothing.
"Oh hey Claire, how's it going?"
Kevin? Garrett?
Hey, we're in here watching TV.
What happened to your car?
Oh, nothing. I had a little fender bender. We're all right.
You almost
guys
died.
Almost died? What the hell?
You know, I'd be crying, screaming, crying, texting everybody.
I
I
would
almost
call everyone.
died. I almost died. I
don't-
can't do it. Maybe that's
It's
how they
so stressful.
handle stress.
So, yeah, so they don't tell her. It's a mystery how the car gets back because it has no brakes. So who knows how
Again,
it got
because
back.
it has no brakes, so they obviously did not drive it back. And if they called a tow truck, the tow truck would have been like, "Yeah, you got to get this fixed. So I
Yeah.
should just go ahead and tow it
Take it to the car shop?
Yeah, the car
Yeah.
shop. Otherwise, you're gonna have to pay for another tow truck.
You know
That's
what?
neither here nor there.
Maybe Noah, because he's a car genius and he's been teaching Kevin all about cars. he's like, you know what? I'll fix it. I can do it. I can fix your brakes. It's not a big deal. I've
that's
been
probably what he did.
being a car daddy to Kevin, so I can teach him how to do this.
car daddy, shoot daddy, gym daddy, all of the daddies.
So yeah, they're watching the game, having pizza, being totally chill, don't care about their near-death experience. And as Claire comes around the corner, there's another person on that couch enjoying the game with them, and it's Noah. So he tries to threaten her one more time.
You took pictures.
A video, actually. Who should I show it to first? Gary? Or maybe... Kevin?
The point is that she realizes this is reaching its peak because he threatens to release the video. And she's like, okay, we have reached our maximum capacity for the bullshit.
You almost got me in trouble with the principal today as I'm stressfully tearing down your beautiful banners.
And they were gorgeous, by the way.
Her hair is still up in a messy bun because she just couldn't get ready because she was taking down all those banners.
Her and Vicky have decided that they've come up with a plan for her to sneak into the house next door. And
It's pure I Love Lucy. Pure I Love Lucy plot.
And get
Vicky
the
and
video
Claire
file.
Getting that sex video. Let's lure him out and go break into his house and like get this sex video. We have no idea where it is. I couldn't even figure out that he sent me flowers. Like, how am I going to figure out where the video is?
Here's my favorite part. So Vicky and Claire's plan is he follows Claire every day, like when she drives, right? So Vicky gets in Claire's car at school because apparently Noah hasn't been suspended. So he's pulling right out of the school parking lot.
Back in the classics.
Yeah, so every day he follows Claire. So Vicky and Claire's plan, like I said, is to put Vicky in Claire's car and take off driving because they know he's gonna follow, right? So she whips and weaves all over the city just nonsensically, and he's following her, and then he pulls up beside her, and Vicky turns her tiny little head, and she's like, oh, hey.
It's me. Remember the vice principal that you assaulted? Hey. Still haven't called the police on you and don't know why you're still in school, but it's me.
But hi. And she's freaking out because she knows however long she has kept him busy roaming around the city is the amount of time that Claire has in his house, right? So the whole time they're roaming around the city, Claire's broken in next door.
I'm telling you, it's pure I Love Lucy plot. It's like the dumbest. It's like a sitcom at this point.
I remember. I was like, how does she remember it's the basement? It's because she sees a cable and she literally puts her hand up and physically follows the cable like a blind person all the way down the stairs into the basement.
Wow, Claire.
And then,
again, she teaches the classics. She doesn't know how to break in. She teaches the classics.
Once she gets in there, she's found this little room, and it's like a little basement closet, and there are life-size printed posters and photographs of her lining the walls, full-size, like wallpaper-esque
and beautifully
situation.
Done.
Yeah,
beautifully separate. The guy makes banners. He does calligraphy. He's a photographer.
If he put all this energy towards like a printing press, that would be great. The other thing that I laughed about when I saw this was that when she gets the little basement room, because the whole time I'm like, he is dressed in a shirt and tie all the time. He's got very good hygiene. He's like got very good manners. He knows the classics. He's not like any other 19-year-old boy in the entire world. But when she gets down to that basement and it's a dirty mattress and a pillow and a little TV, I'm like, okay, that's where he's a 19-year-old. So that's accurate. Nailed it.
And like, why does he have to live in the garage if his uncle has like a 3-bedroom house in this affluent neighborhood?
Kind of what I was trying to figure out is that if he lives normally in his normal time to like appease his uncle, he like stays in a bedroom, but then when it's like stalking time, he like goes down to a special little basement room.
Little stalker office, little stock office. I get it. You can't just stalk. You can't stalk people in your regular setup.
You gotta get that work done.
What if Uncle walks in and says, "Who is that? You can't have that."
And Uncle can't possibly walk downstairs.
Go into the garage. Yeah,
that's absolutely unheard of.
No way. Never goes down there.
Completely off limits to
even
Uncle.
Even if your nephew's down there all the time, getting up to mischief, you're never going to go down there.
Nope, you're never going to be curious. You're going to be like, you know what? He's just making good use of his time. It's fine. You never quite get a sense of how long the uncle's going to be gone, when he's going to come back. So she gets down to the basement, She opens the computer, doesn't need a password,
Nope.
doesn't need to hack in. It's
Nope.
wide open. And then, of course, like in all movies, when she's like shuffling through the files, it's like, file to deceive everyone and stalk Claire. Like, it's
File to take Garrett's
labeled.
brakes and make them broken. File to EpiPen her son. Maybe.
So that's the other thing, is that he's got this file of their sex video that's clearly labeled, and then he does have a file which she didn't expect. She expected the sex video. She didn't expect the file labeled how to remove brakes in a 1996 Dodge Charger. Like, very specific set of instructions.
I know, and like Noah's so organized with his computer and his laptop, very organized, but he can't just make his mattress in the stalker room. Like, you think his room would represent the organization that he represents in his computer. You're 19, wear a shirt and tie. Fix your stalker office bed.
Just make the bed, wash the sheets a little bit. It's just a little bit goes a long way.
I do love that in movies, though. Every movie, when you break into someone's computers, their files are... Like, if you broke into my computer right now, I wouldn't have it labeled like...
You're like, this is the video I am going to use to blackmail Claire.
Blackmail video. Revenge video. 001 version 2. Ugh, it's ridiculous.
So she, at this point, like right at the climax that she finds the video, is when she gets the call from Vicky. And Vicky's like,
Claire, he saw me. Get the hell out of there. He's coming back there. Get the hell out of there. You got 5 minutes max.
I have bad news. Noah just saw me. He knows he's not been following you. He's on his way home. You got to get the hell out of that basement. So Claire deletes the files.
Vicky was driving around for a long time. Mm-hmm. I'd be like, Claire, you've got a good 45 minutes to get out of the house. Maybe an hour.
But she gives her like 5 minutes or something. She's like, you got to get out. So Claire deletes the files, gets off the phone with Vicky, and then runs upstairs. And at that exact moment, the uncle pops out. And that's like the only other time you see him. He's just like,
Mrs. Peterson. Mrs. Hamboy. You scared the living daylight out of me. What in the world are you doing there?
well, Claire, what are you doing here?
Yeah, he shows up. What are you doing in Noah's stalker cave?
Special basement. And she's just like, I gotta go bye. Doesn't give him literally any explanation whatsoever. She calls Vicky when she gets home. She says,
And I found the computer, and I deleted all the files.
Good.
that was so stressful. Thank you so much for doing that. But I'm home. It's going to be okay. And then Vicky goes, all right, thanks. And if you need some place to stay, call me. And then she hangs up. And right at that moment in her own house, Noah pops out from behind the corner and smacks her.
I followed you home.
Knocks
Noah's
her out.
Poor Vicky. She's just a bystander in all of this.
She's
she
just
does not
trying to
deserve
help.
this. She was just trying to help her whore friend.
Dirty
friend for
slut.
being a whore and sleeping with high schoolers. I would also say, Vicky, again, it's kind of on you. Like, this guy literally grabbed you, assaulted you, called you a dried up cunt.
Yes.
He tried to kill someone, and now he's literally... If you know that he stalks your friend every day, enough to follow them, enough to where they can create this scheming plan of, like, tricking them,
yes.
I would be like, yeah, that's enough to call the police and be like, hey, police, come here. I'm going to show you that he follows her every single day. And then show the police, and then you're done.
Yeah, it seems so easy, but instead she's like, once we steal these video files and you break into the house and delete everything, then you'll get your life back. And
hey,
I'm like...
remember how that kid went into a blind rage and tried to kill that other kid? If we do this thing that's going to piss this guy off, everything will go normal.
It'll totally
If we delete all of his files on his computer that he's super organized about, he'll be fine.
You know what? It'll calm him right down. He'll be like, yeah,
it'll calm him down.
Those files.
It'll calm him right down. Yep. This sounds like a really good plan. God,
they're two grown ass women, and this is their solution. So Vicky has been hit over the head. I would like to just... I'm not going to get into this because it's so dumb and there's no explanation for it, but out of nowhere... Claire takes a quick jaunt over to San Bernardino, visits a detective, and she's like, hey, do you want to tell me about this car accident that Noah was in? And he's like, oh, yeah, the brakes.
We gotta go back. She does go to talk to the detective friend, and she's asking about Noah. And because he's a detective, he immediately has all the information on this
Right.
person.
Yes.
But she's saying, what happened to Noah's family?
You're right. Yes, you're right.
And then he goes, oh, his mom and dad, their brakes went out in their car and they freaking died. And that's when it's like, dun, dun, dun.
Yes, you are correct. So that's the mysterious accident that he was referencing at the beginning of the movie. That's the reason he's finishing high school late. So she...
Because he killed his parents.
He killed his parents. Not a
'Cause he
big deal.
murdered his
Just
parents.
real quick, Sean. And I'm like...
Totally fine.
The idea that could you not call him? I mean, I guess they physically look at the van he took the brakes out of, but I don't know that served a whole lot of purpose because it seems like over the phone you could have the exact same conversation, but I don't know. I'm not an investigator.
I love that little side. Like, literally, freaking, it goes from her breaking into the basement, finding giant photos of herself, erasing all of this. Vicky's getting hit over the head, and then immediately it is. She's like in San Bernardino for the day, like, hey, how's it going? And she's talking to him like Kaden said, you could have just called him.
Yeah.
You could have called him and been like, hey, what's going on with this Noah guy?
It's so random. And then so the movie does what all great movies do. Once she gets this information and the pieces are all together, Vicky at this point is being held hostage by Noah. She's tied up, but he has Vicky's phone. So when Claire calls Vicky's phone, all the person on Vicky's phone and has to just open the phone, doesn't have to say a darn word, doesn't have to say hello. And then Claire's like,
Vicky, listen, I am pretty sure that Noah tampered with the brakes on his parents' car, and that's why they crashed. And I'm pretty sure he did the same thing to Garrett's.
I just found all the information I needed to know.
I just deleted all of Noah's file and I met his uncle. His uncle actually said to go here, and I went to a detective in San Bernardino. And like, Vicky? Vicky, you there? Vicky, you got anything to say about that, Vicky?
No?
Nope.
Okay, I'll take that as a yes.
Yeah, even when she's like, you there, Vicky? And then there's like, no, there's still silence. She just keeps talking.
Yes. So then Noah calls Claire, obviously, and tricks her into coming over to Vicky's house. He somehow, don't ask us how, but he finds a way to simulate her voice.
Claire, I need you. I need to talk.
Yes. Come over. It's me, Vicky.
It's like this weird audio that's been slathered together.
I know you just called me and told me all of that really good information, and I didn't say a word.
So, like, I'm like, what did he do to get this audio?
He's got a stalker cave. It's all... And, like, instead of Claire being immediate... Like, I get that her husband's an estranged husband, but they're getting back together. He's still enough of a friend that she could be like, dude, I got some shit to tell you.
Yes.
That kid next door. And, like, her husband would be like, let's go to the police and handle this together. But nope, she's got to go to her girls' date with Vic.
Yeah, it's so bizarre. It's like you could
have some rosé and talk about this.
At this point, you could have involved lots more people. At this point, you were having an active conversation with a police officer in San Bernardino, so it feels like you could have brought it up to him at least. Could you give me some guidance on what I should do about this psychotic stalker I have? Is there like anything I can do legally? Just I need to protect myself.
She doesn't tell the detective anything that like, well, he tried to fracture a kid's skull. My son almost died. He needed the EpiPen. He wrote, I fucked Claire in the bathrums. He's like, she doesn't say any of that.
He just mysteriously shows up, asks questions about this guy's wreck, and then leaves. This is the culmination of everything.
Claire ends up, she's thinking she's having a rosé all day with
girls'
her friend
night.
Vic. Girls' night. They're going to gossip about all. Girl, you don't believe what I found. Giant pictures of me all over this guy's basement.
You will not believe this stalker basement. It is wild, but the photography is flawless.
Great. Look at these flyers he made. But she goes, and guess what? Vicky can't have rosé with her because Vicky's dead.
Yeah.
R.I.P.
Vicky is passed away. Thank you for your service.
She got her throat done, slashed.
She really
R.I.P.
did.
Moment of silence.
All he had to use was like a little baby tiny knife.
a little toothpick. She's like,
she's so
she
small.
is the tiniest person. She wisps away. She can't cut her neck because it's so bendy.
She's like just dissolves.
He's like, dude, it's kind of wispy. Come on.
I can't quite stab it. Yes, she's dead. So then she's like, oh shit, this shit's about to get real. Of course, he takes away her phone. She can't escape. He leads her into the barn. And guys, in the barn, Garrett and Kevin are both tied up. They're both tied up. They've already gotten
But
there. He's taking care of it.
What did you do to him?
Well, he ran into a 14-inch crescent wrench.
Mom! No, you hurt my mom, I swear to God.
Really, Kevin? I would never hurt your mother. I love your mother.
It's really strange because just like conveniently, the whole
There's a
climax of this
barn.
movie happens at Vicky's house where she happens to have a barn. It's bizarre.
Oh, that's true. That is
Weird
Vicky's
choice.
house. You don't know. We don't know Vicky. She has she could have whatever she wants. Noah, there's apparently nothing he can't do, and he fully overpowered a grown man.
I'm very
and a
curious
son
how
the
he.
same
They
size.
they didn't show
They
us
don't.
that because they're like,
Nope.
we don't want to have to explain
don't
how
even-
he lured
Yeah.
two grown
Nope.
men
Nope.
and overpowered them.
We're going to assume that he called him, did the same frozen chicken routine. Hey, Garrett. Hey, Kev. I can't thaw this chicken. Can you come over?
You're gonna help me.
And this is when an epic fight between J-Lo and Noah goes down. She
Right.
sees, well, he tries to kind of say to her, like,
No, it's destiny, Claire. And he can't interfere with destiny. We're meant to be.
because every woman wants to run away with a 19-year-old.
Yeah, he was like,
No, I was gonna take Kevin with us. Seems like he's got too much of his father in him. No, he needs to go.
I thought we could take Kevin and I could be his daddy, but I just don't see that working anymore.
He genuinely wanted to be Kevin's dad.
And she's like,
No, he's not like his father at all. Noah, you've taught him. You've changed him.
All right. Then, he'll come with us.
Yes.
I know that you don't think that, but I actually think we can make it work with Kevin. I think we should bring him along and we'll be a happy family. Everything will be fine. It's not a big deal. But she's got tricks up her sleeve because that's absolutely not what she plans on doing. She doesn't want to run away with Noah.
Spoiler alert, she does not want to.
She calms him down enough and then takes him out for a second, but not enough to like watch him actually die or whatever.
Yeah, it's the movie trope where you hit somebody,
Yes.
but not hard enough to kill him or like even
Exactly.
really get him out. Just enough to get him off their toes for a little bit.
Yeah, so she crawls over to Kevin. She's trying to get Kevin free. She's like climbing over to Garrett. She's trying to get Garrett free. And a whole fight breaks out, obviously. The peak of the fight is when she stabs Noah in the eye with Kevin's EpiPen and then
Oh,
proceeds
jeez.
to dig her thumb into the eye hole.
I
It
hate that
is
shit. I hate
disgusting.
fingers and eyes. I hate anything
Oh,
in eyes,
I
but I hate
know.
in movies when people smash eyeballs with them.
It's so
so
gross.
sick.
Oh,
Ugh.
you know what, though? This is a perfect poetic callback to Gigli when she gives that lecture to the youths at the outside cafe when she tells them about the ancient technique of poking someone's eye out with your
Oh, it's
thumb.
true.
You ever heard of Thai Muay Chai? No. Okay. In traditional Thai Muay Chai, there are 5 levels of digital orb extrusion. That's the gouging out of your opponent's eyeball with one's finger.
Oh, this is perfect circle.
This is perfect symbolism.
So I
yeah.
thought it was poetic that that's what she does in this one.
I don't even know if someone was full on trying to murder me, I still don't think I would have the stomach to poke out their eyes. If that was my only
yeah.
option, I'd be like,
It would be rough. I have that same
I would just
thought.
kind of-
I can't watch
I would do
stuff
this like a
that.
little bit, like try to just actually generally poke him in the eye and then run. But I don't know if I could actually do it. I'd
Yeah,
be like,
it
just
would
go ahead,
be-
just kill me. I'm dead.
And he keeps going. Like you would think that's the end of Noah. He got stabbed with an EpiPen and then she dug out his eyeball with her thumb. But that's not the end of Noah because he keeps on fighting and he busts out a gun. And then he shoots Garrett with that gun.
But
And
the way that
then-
the way that the fight ends.
Oh, you mean Claire's
It's-
overarching plan to squash him? To squash him?
Because it sounds so ridiculous, but she
Like that
Pull
you would
something.
even know how that apparatus works?
yes, she
Yeah.
pulls some kind of lever and a giant engine.
Because she like
falls.
calls his attention so that he turns around. Because she's like, "Oh wait, Noah," and he turns around. And then she's like, "Meet," pulls the lever, and this thing falls from the ceiling
know,
and
it's
squashes
like-
him.
I've got so many questions. Like, what situation have you ever walked into someone's barn, house, whatever, and there's a giant engine just swinging above everybody like a chandelier,
It's just very
and there's also a lever on the
perilously
side.
just
Yes,
like swinging above everyone's head.
I know. No one fixes any kind of equipment like that. No one hoists a giant engine.
I like to hoist things up high and then get up under them just so I can see it from every angle. Fix it from underneath. It's like I want it out of my way while I'm doing my other barn chores. So it's just like up, just out of the way, don't have to think about it. But then when it's time, I can just lower it down to work on it. And it sways as I'm working on it the whole time. Can't quite get a grip, but that's how I like it.
In case I need to get down really, really quick, I have like a emergency release lever on the side of the door.
Yes. If I need to fix it right that instant.
Like, have we ever in any situation of anyone you've ever met had that situation happen where you're like, hey, why do you have this precariously hanging 2,000-pound engine with a rope?
Yeah.
And like you said, like, how is she so well-versed in Vicky's barn?
Yeah, and how much time has she spent in there that she'd be like, oh, I definitely know what this lever
girls'
does.
nights. They should have done like a montage of the girls' night she spent in the barn with the engine. Her and Vicky just drinking rosé and the engine swinging up at their head.
I was thinking slow-mo of like they're both grabbing the lever together and like their hands overlap as they
and then it's like
pull the lever.
It's like a scene of where like one of them accidentally pulls it and it drops, and then the other one's like, "Oh, you," and they like laugh it off. Look what you did. Like, it's the most ridiculous. Nuts. You couldn't think of any other way to kill off the main character, Noah, or the second main character, but to have a freaking Looney Tunes anvil fall in their
I was going to say, it was like a cartoon.
So ridiculous.
Full-on Acme engine fell from the sky.
Oh, God, it's so stupid.
So stupid. So, at the very, very end, I just wanted to say this because I made a note of it. So, at some point, she gets a hold of a phone after she knows he's squished and she's checked. She does get a hold of a phone somehow, calls the emergency services. They come to get her. And they put Garrett, he's been shot, by the way, like I said. So they put him in the ambulance and they say,
"We got him now, man. Don't you worry. He's going to be fine."
I don't think you're allowed legally to say that to someone. Like, if someone's loading someone who's been shot into your ambulance, you can't just be like, oh, your worries are over now. There's no other worries. No risks whatsoever. He'll be totally chill.
How does the barn catch on fire? It somehow catches on fire.
Oh, it does. Because the whole fight, yes, we forgot to say that. The whole fight happens with the barn on fire around them. The entire time the barn is burning.
But it is pure Lion King.
Because they have a lot of conversations within the fire. Like, it's an extensive thing that's happening. And it's just like tiny little fires burning for a while.
But then, as soon as she kills him and they get Garrett and Kevin out, of course it goes up in flames.
Yes.
And I'm thinking, that sucks too. Vicky's already dead, and now her husband has to deal with insurance claims of their burned barn.
Oh, man. Bummer.
First, you just broke probably a $20,000 engine. You broke an apparatus that hangs that $20,000 engine on the top of the roof. You burned down my freaking barn, and your little ring-a-ring slutty ways got my wife killed.
Whoever Vicky has partnered with is for a big surprise when he gets back. Sadly.
Big surprise. And then the movie ends with him coming home and Claire's just like, did it again. Sorry, I'm a stinker.
She holds up the picture of herself that he printed and she's like, classic Claire.
You're right. Classic Claire and Vic. Oh, not Vicky.
Not Vicky.
Oh, too soon. It's not a classic Claire and Vicky moment. But honestly, Vicky was a total innocent bystander in this whole thing. She was just trying to be a good friend.
Was she a little incompetent? Yes.
I mean, yes.
But
part of this,
she was trying to help.
Just think about this for a minute. If I was like, Cadence, there's this guy that tried to kill somebody recently. He's obsessed with me. He recorded us having sex. He's like bribed me. He tried to kill Alex, all of this stuff. And I'm like, but I think a good idea would be to you pretend like you're me. And then you drive him around on a wild goose chase, which will not upset him at all. And then when he finds out it's you, be like, oopsie. Like, no, Colin, I'm not going to do that.
It actually sounds crazy dangerous. Especially because I was alone with him in a room and he called me a dried up cunt and grabbed my wrist violently.
Yes, I wouldn't do that as a friend.
Do I think it's creative? Yes. Do I think you took some inspiration from the classics? Absolutely.
Yes.
Do I think we should do it? No. No, I respect you.
I'm going to have to say no. We could just call the police and end this whole thing. But tomato.
we go about it differently. It's because I'm a really black and white stickler. Like, I'm a vice principal. I think in black and white, and you're a creative mind, and I respect it.
I know, I'd be thinking of any excuse. I'm like, I've got a great... You know what? I learned a little lesson from not looking at people's transcripts, so I'm going to go through everybody's transcript.
I have to catch up on a lot of transcript reading.
That whole transcript thing really just freaked me out, so I just want to be super on top of it. That's the end of that ridiculously stupid movie. It's really
it was
bad.
So bad. I was,
Really bad.
I loved every second of it.
But the whole time, I really was thinking, like, you've done nothing wrong. Like, the whole time. It's like a one-night stand.
It was one time he lured me over to
freaking
defrost a
died.
chicken.
Yeah.
It got out of hand.
That's why she's keeping it a secret, because she's embarrassed to say that he lured her over.
That's why he went over. She's like, they're like, if you went over to defrost a chicken, you kind of knew what was coming, right? You kind of had to know.
I was high on the red wine and cookie sniffs. I couldn't.
Those cookies.
Had to. Ugh. Okay, well, that's the end of Boy Next Door. Just so you know, Cadence and I have been recording this over the course of like 3 weeks. So it feels like this is one. I know you're editing it down, but it feels like one giant 4-hour episode.
Bye.